You had to reach to the front of the line. You had to use your mind. You had to reach to become a student before you could teach. Let's reach and open our minds to the power of spoken word. Power of spoken word with Paul. Power of spoken word with Paul. Power of spoken word with Paul.
Good morning, free thinkers. It's about 5 o'clock now, a.m. And like I said, most men are up this time of morning getting ready to, take care of the covenant. But that's what we do as men. We take care of the covenant. That's what we do. But I want to speak to hearing the vice president say something the other day that to me, I want you ladies to understand this is why black men are not voting for her. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, in the 60s, I have another post that I put on another platform that was shorter, but I want to go into length with this one. But there is a program that the Democratic government, put in place in the 60s when men came back from war, black men. And there's a lot of history and stories about all these horrific things that black men did, right? History shows that a lot of things that we did and in fighting war. But again, understand that we were put there as fodder, right? We were not supposed to come back home. But a lot of us came back home. History shows that, right? A lot of historic shows that, airmen, seamen, a lot of things that we have done in the war to bring other cultures back home. You see them in movies now, and if you read the subtitles, you see who the characters are, and they show the picture, like, oh, it's a black guy. But history does not show that because there's two separate history, right? So in the 60s, when black men came back from war, but before we came back from war, the government already knew how many of us was coming back home. And they went to the women and said to them, listen, we got a program for you guys. And it doesn't require a lot. Doesn't require a lot. They didn't say that you have to be a college student. You have to be, graduate from high school. You need a GED. All it requires you to say is that man don't live here. There's a movie called Claudine. For those of you who are around my age, and for you young people, you should go see this. You should Google this movie and watch it. It is a very touching movie and telling movie of where we are from in the 50s now up into the 2004 24, that this beast has grown, right? And it targeted one community specifically. So the community it targeted, they told them that, listen, he can't live here, but I'll give you shelter, I'll give you food, and a little bit of money for you to live off. And they said, sure. And they signed the contract. Not all women signed the contract, but majority of them signed the contract. So imagine you come back from war and you left your beautiful wife or your beautiful girlfriend or your beautiful fiance to come back to now being told that you can't move in here. Why not? Because if you move in here, I'm going to lose the place where I live. Not saying, you know what? My husband is back home, my boyfriend is back home, my fiance is back home. I'm going to rock with him and see where it's going to go. You know how debilitating that is to know that the people that you rely on is not in your life, not even supporting you. They don't even think you're worth it. Not the government, but the person that you think would think that you're worth it. Don't even think that you're worth it. That's a hard pill to swallow for a man. And then you have the grandmothers and great grandmothers and great grandmothers signing a lease to an apartment that is passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. And every time someone have a child within that generation, they've been told that man can't live here. That's the part of the contract. He cannot live here. And the government has no problem taking money from taxpayers to fund that. So recently, I hear the vice president said that it is immoral to separate families, to put children in cages and separate the mother and the father. Is barbaric, and this is not the society we live in. We live in. That program sounds familiar, right? Doesn't it sound familiar? So they're not willing to help the black community. Black woman is not willing to help the black community to get them out of that poverty. But they want you to know it's barbaric to not help those other communities. You see, the issue is that 10, 15 years from now, those people are going to look back on the black community and think exactly what that was said to them. They're dogs, they're beneath us, we're better than them. When the government set it up like that, they're not bringing the best of us on the stage to show who we are as a culture. They're showing the worst of us on stage. Entertainers, 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 they're bringing on stage that they want black women and black men to inspire to be. I don't inspire to be none of those people. I inspire to be me. I'm speaking to so many black males about what they need to correct their lives. And it's funny because a lot of them don't even know that their credit is very important. They don't even know that. There's nobody to show them that. Their grandmother ain't show that to them because the grandfather's not there. Their mom ain't show it to them. Nobody showed it to them. The streets don't show it to them because they're all following the street code. You see, I take my time sometime to talk to some of these young men and open my office door sometime and they're all standing outside because they have a question for me. It doesn't bother me because, you know, each one teach one. I have a young man told me that how his girl talked to him sometime. And ladies, sometime you gotta understand, you can't talk to me like I'm a dog and then give me the shield and the sword to go out there and fight for you. Remember, I'm a dog, right? So this young man was telling me about this lady that he was dating and how she speaks to him and control. And I said to him, well, whose apartment you living in? And he says, hers. So well then she's in control. How long you been with the job? And he's been there a pretty good time. He said, you remember you told me to join the pension and the 401k and the Roth? I said, yeah. Did you join them? He says, yes. So I said, I want you to go and sit down with them and see how much you've accumulated in them. So I didn't see him for a while. And then he came back one day and he's let me know he has a lot that was accumulated in there. And I said to him, then go buy a home. He goes, why would I buy a house? It's because now those will be your rules if you when you buy the house. Not her rules anymore. It'll be your rules. Okay? And watch her change when it becomes your rules. Because I'm not following no female rules. Those are all emotional rules. There's no structure to their rules. It's all based on feelings at the time. So he bought a beautiful home out in Long Island. It's a little way from here. But he invited me over a couple months back and they had a nice little barbecue in the backyard. And the woman that he was talking to me about ain't the woman that I saw at the house. So I asked him, what changed? He said, exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. Everything changed. So I talk to young men, males, not men, young males, and trying to guide them how to be men because their mothers never kept their fathers around to teach them how to be men. And the males that their mother brought into the house brought them into her house, don't want those boys in the house, because there's a threat to that male that she brought into the house. because she's looking for love. So back to the original story that I was going at. So the vice president is now saying that we can't turn our backs on these people, but you turn your back on the black community. All Democrats have turned their back on the black community. They have done it from the 1960s when they created the welfare program, when they went into contract with the black woman to tell her that he cannot stay here. They have not changed that. They have put it on steroids. They do not ask these women, listen, you came here 2 years ago with one, now you got five. What happened? They just go here, add this one to it, add this one to it. So if you keep perpetuating this program and not holding these women accountable for it, then you all say there's no good men out there. There's no good men out there that want the responsibility of raising a whole bunch of males' children that they know that are not going to listen to them. Because the mother's not even structured to listen to them. How can you? And then I hear people say, well, when I meet the right man, then I become feminine. That's not how this works. If that social program ends today, majority of those women will die. Because the program did not say, listen, we need for you after the next 4 or 5 years to go to college, get your high school diploma so we could transition you into one of these jobs. It didn't say that. Some of these people, generations been on it from the 60s. Still going. Didn't stop. There's no need for it to stop. Because they know that if they teach you how to fish, you won't need them. But as long as they keep feeding you, you will need them. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible, people. So when I hear the vice president who's driving a car right now, and she, believe it or not, the vice president's office has a lot of power. The vice president's office, forget about who's in there now. The vice president's office has the tying vote, the decider in Congress and the Senate. That's the power of the vice president. But you haven't put any policy on the table to help the black community. Any. But you're here asking for our help so we could put the first black woman, Jamaican woman, Indian woman, whatever woman in office. But I'm not seeing that because as a black man, you guys took away our basic rights. This is America. And America is a capitalistic country. America tells you put your best foot forward and you could have anything. So you see, I don't mind competing. Competition is good. But when America put program in place to let one race think that they're better than the other race, then there's a problem. We've had a black president that never addressed it. Now we have a woman president want to be president that's not going to address it. But they have addressed other communities and other communities' needs, but not the black community's needs. These black communities, there's all these stores that are shut down because there's no money going through those communities. No efforts put in those communities. So all of a sudden, she has policies and programs. Could we hear them before we put you in office? And why wasn't this put in 8 years ago under the black president? We went to war. So once we went to war, we have no money. So you guys are asking for us to, black men, to now sell ourselves out again because a black man is telling us that if we don't do it, then we're not black. Imagine a white man telling another white man, if you don't vote for this white man, then you ain't white. Who does that? Who says that? But this is what we have to contend with as black men, that we have to sell whatever we have to get what we want. And if you sell what you have to get what you want, then you will always be selling what you have to get what you want. We're not in the position right now. No, let me correct that. We're in the position right now that we have a voice that we could say who we want. Because you see, I'm not voting for Donald Trump because he's the best option. I'm voting for Donald Trump so you guys understand that we have options. You want me to say it again? I'm not voting for Donald Trump because he's the best option. I'm voting for Donald Trump because I want you guys to know that we have other options. And we're tired of being being taken for granted. I'm a free thinker. I promote free thinking. I promote competition. It's good. That's what men thrive on. We're men. But for you, Miss Vice President, to say it is immoral and unethical to put children in cages and separate them from their family, those projects are cages. They're concrete prisons. You've separated the mother from the father. So the son can't grow to be anybody. And yes, we have those who are outliers that say, you know what, this is not what I want for myself. I want better. We have those who said, I'm not following those other guys on the corner. I'm going to do this for myself. We have those. And kudos to them because they became leaders instead of followers. But the fact that you guys feel that we need to fall in line and vote for you because you're a black woman, understand the contract in 1950, 1960 started with you guys selling out the black man. And now you're here telling us that we need to fall in line. We're not falling in line. We tried that already. And we came back home to poverty, homelessness, no jobs, having women call us broke asses, bums. You think fathers really don't want to see their sons or their children? But the program tell the mother he can't be here. And she used that program to belittle the father. You can't be here. And again, we have outliers who decided that, you know what, I'm going to fight for my children. Yep, there are outliers. There's some of us who rise above to do the right thing for our family. But everybody don't have that willpower or that structure around them. So you ladies choose males instead. And then based on how the male treats you, you say men, black men ain't ish. No, black man is ish. We're that gold coin right now. You're just mad because we're not stepping in line. And I don't stand in line for nobody. And that's what you're mad at. So free thinkers, don't let the Democrats force you into voting because that's what they tell you you're supposed to do. Again, Donald Trump is not the best option, but I'd rather his option than the option the Democrats have given us from 1960, which is to tear our family apart while they take care of everybody else's family. Free thinkers.